All right, let us know that's better. Good morning, folks. Good morning. Just on the 2 minutes in, that was our fault. Always click the on button. Always click the on button. On. Grace, Robert. Always click the on. Andrew, on. Robert, Jilly G, always click the on. Ever tell you that one time mom calls me, says well, back then that's how far we came. The VCR ain't working. Well, last you heard about VCR, and I'm trying to troubleshoot with her on the phone. I trying to troubleshoot. The VCR ain't working. You can see how this thing runs in the family. Simone, all you folks joining us, I'll show you all now how this thing runs in the family. So I ain't getting it. It's not coming on. It's not working. It's not working. I trying all kinds of things. Do this, do that, via telephone. It's all right. Fed up now. Hour and a half later, fed up. Sorry, I'll just come over and fix it. I'll just come over and fix it. Chevron McDonald, I'll just come over. Then the lady called me back. Thank God I didn't leave the house yet. She calls me back and said, "Oh, I didn't plug it in." Calls me back. She said, "I didn't plug it in. You see? That's what she said. I ain't plug it in. So, press the on. I didn't have the mic on. On. Our apologies there. So you know what the moral of the story is? Check the power. The thing is not working. Check the power, folks. Check the power. See how we looking. We got a couple of things we want to share with you. Let me make myself comfortable. We got a couple of things that we want to share with you. How are you folks doing this morning? Winston, Marshall, Anne-Marie, Selby, Karen, Magnell, Deborah. Those of you who are traveling, you're going, you're coming. Good morning to all of you. You're going, you're coming, you're in between. Good morning to each and every one of you. Wherever you're joining us from, we're privileged to have you all here with us. Another day that finds us outside. You all know by now we're in silly season. We're in that period. Karen, Gavin, Patricia, Deborah. We're in that period. You just gotta take it for what it's worth. Don't watch your pressure. Watch your pressure, folks. So we got some things we're following here. We're telling you watch your pressure. We got some things we're following at our end. We got our own story. Some things we're following at our end. Good to have all of you on the live, wherever you're joining us from this morning. However life finds you this morning, I hope that you all are up and you are robust this morning, energetic this morning. I hope that's how life finds you. If you're a little under the weather, You're going to be in our thoughts and our prayer. You just hold on to some ginger tea. You just hold on to some ginger tea. You got this. You got this. We're rooting for you. We're pulling for you. Outside pulling for you. So switching things up a little bit this morning. Not too much. Don't get too excited. We're creatures of habit. We are creatures of habit. So not too much. We're going to switch up too much. Marville Schultz, good to see you. Nigel Plass, good to see you. David Papin, Anton Nicholson, Patricia Sana, Shelley Loretta, good to see you as well. Deborah Shelley, Junior Holder, good to have you too. JR Holder Travaza, good to see you too. And all the other folks joining us this morning. It's a privilege to be here with you this morning. Wherever you're joining us from, we want to walk you guys through a couple of things. And then we out of your here. Troy and Gail and the other folks joining us. You all know every day you get up in this country, it's something. You know, it's always something. Never an easy day, and we can take you guys through the paces. Some of the things happened over the last 24, over the last 6 hours. Even we can take you guys through some of that. And thanks to all of you showing up last night. We're so grateful. We had over 3,000 folks watching our broadcast live. And we are pretty excited about that. What's happening with our schools? Stanborn has made quite an entrance this morning. It says, boom! Eula Rubens, how are you doing? Eula Lafferman Rubens, Marjorie Baburam, Deborah Marshall. How are you folks doing this morning? Do let us know, because we fast like that. Do let us know how you're doing this morning. What's happening in our schools? You know, schools moving. We hear they're tearing down a wing of Queen's College. Like, why did we even have a recess for the holidays? The school term has just started. We're 2 weeks in, and we're already disrupting schools again. Disrupting schools again. And then the same folks who are doing all of this, they want to be lecturing you about education. They want to be lecturing you about strategic plan. Where in that strategic plan is the maintenance of our schools? That's what I'd like to know. In that strategic plan, where is the maintenance of our schools? It's very disheartening. I saw former magistrate Holder resign from the Queen's College Board of Governors. She said the plan keeps changing, Colleen Osborne, Philomena Fontenelle, Wilton Blue. The plan keeps changing, Dan Mitchell. It keeps changing all the time. She said, I had about enough of this. Done with that. Done with that. Finish with it. As we come on this morning, we were at Charlestown Secondary yesterday. You know, I'm fresh back from fighting some pigeons. I am fresh back from fighting some pigeons at Charlestown Secondary. You know, they got in a few good pecks. I got in a couple punches. Pigeons there attacking teachers, attacking students. I went there to see what's happening. They attacked me too. You gotta fight the jagabats, the pigeons. It's Animal Farm out here. Jelly G says pigeons. Pigeons and more pigeons. I like to see pigeons from afar off. When they start getting the droppings all over the place and kids gotta be, teachers and auxiliary staff gotta be wading through that. We saw one classroom. It's like a pigeon coop. They take it over. If you see droppings on the floor, on the walls, what are you doing? What is Priya doing? Folks, welcome to FYI. We are happy to have all of you here with us this morning. Privileged and delighted to have you with us this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy to have all of you here with us. Good folks, we're outside another day. We're outside another day. Like, here's somebody stirring around in the kitchen. What I want to do for a cup of coffee this morning? What I want to do for a cup of coffee this morning? I had about 2 cups already, truth be told. Good to have all of you here with us, folks. Let's take you into Charleston Secondary in case you missed it on our broadcast last night. Some of what the wonderful folks told us there. Pigeons and them. Teachers falling ill, student. You know, we just want the best for our folks. Take a look, take a listen.
Is an issue. This has been going on for more than 10 years because we keep reporting these issues to the ministry and nothing has been done. The latest report was done on Thursday where we gave them an ultimatum. We asked them to come fix the problem or give us some word. I was there on Monday to get a reply, no reply. Until now, we're still waiting on the ministry to tell us what they're going to do. We were made aware that the PEO and the DEO are supposed to come to talk with us. Nobody's here as yet. It's after 10, it's 10:30 now. They were supposed to come since 10 o'clock. Nobody's here.
Nobody's here as yet.
The students are scratching. Teachers are getting sick. All because of the pigeon, the feces that is going around. And not only that, but most of these birds, I'm sure if they carry them to or they bring in any agency and test these pigeons, they have coccidiosis. Because the mere fact that students are scratching, that's one of the symptoms of coccidiosis. And most poultry, pigeon as being one, carries the coccidiosis virus. So we're here because we're very serious about it, and we're not going to budge until the ministry fix this problem. It's more than 10 years this thing has been going on. One of our colleagues would have gotten injured until yesterday. The pigeons are attacking the students and teachers, and no ministry official is coming to talk with us. We need them to come.
What happens in the interim? Because we notice in some of the classrooms, there's one in particular that has a lot of excrement from these pigeons. The upstairs look as though it's been abandoned.
It has been abandoned right now. The teachers would have been using the auditorium to teach. Some of them would have brought their classes in the yard, in the sun, to teach these children. This is not good. It is not good. We have to think about ourselves as well as our students. The charges that the ministry would have given to us. We have to look after these children. We are hoping that parents come out and support us in this effort because it is very serious. It's a serious offense.
And we're made to understand, in addition to this pigeon infestation that you have here at Charleston Secondary, you've got some challenges with this particular building too, with water and maybe.
Yes, because of the height of the building, you're not getting water to the top. Teachers got to be coming. Sometimes you have a pregnant teacher teaching to the top flat, got to walk all the way downstairs. There's no washroom facility in this building here. All of the washroom facility are downstairs on the ground floor. So when they go up there, they got to come downstairs for that washroom facility. And anything can happen. Some of those steps, if you check it, are very steep. So they've started that. It's very serious. It's very serious.
Thank you very much, Miss.
There you have it, folks. There you have it. Another day in the 592. Another day in the 592. I want to play our special effects. Womp, womp, womp. Not in the 592. Womp, womp, womp. Deborah Collymore, I saw Pop Sasha saying, wow. Yeah. You see those pigeons bearing down on us. The size of airplanes. Kamikaze style. Coming down on us, Jilly G. Jilly G said, vote them out. Vote them out. You ain't never see a picture like that. Beautiful young lady bringing some coffee for me. Checking the cup, make sure we're not embarrassed on air. Folks, good morning. Hot cup coffee is passion, you know. Passion. Jilly G and Angela Ben, good to have all of you. So we fought the pigeons yesterday at Charles Sung Secondary School, and we live to fight another day. They didn't really want to kill us. They just want to protect the territory, which is the school. They really weren't out for us. It's not PvP pigeons. They weren't coming to kill us. Just say, stay away from my kids, stay away from us, my siblings, and so on. Anybody would fight for their family, but we got to now go and reclaim that territory like Ankoko. We have to go now reclaiming the territory. Good morning to all of you. Leonard Fernandez is here on the live. Klangron Surname, I see you too. Naomi Drucker, I see you as well. Naomi says, good morning, beautiful young lady. Yeah. You know the sense of y'all. You know the people send some of y'all. But tell them you'll find we. Tell them you didn't find us today, folks. Let's turn attention to a couple of things happening. My hair. A couple of things happening. Let's start regionally. Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister said an interesting thing just yesterday. Maybe some of that happening here. Who knows? This is Prime Minister Keith Rowley. He said, they have a state of emergency in Trinidad and just extended it another couple of weeks. He said they're seeing some progress. They're seeing some progress in TNT. Some measure of progress, having instituted this state of emergency on December 30th. They're seeing some amount of progress. They think they've been able to stem some of the gang violence. Still a lot of gruesome murders too. Right? A lot of gruesome murders. So just in December, this is one of the things that set off this state of emergency. You had 60 murders in December alone. 60. But what made the headlines is when, in a debate in Parliament yesterday, Prime Minister Keith Rowley said that policemen were hiding in the police stations. They don't want to come out and confront some of them. I conjured a picture in my head of these policemen cowering in these police stations. Some of you might argue that's some of what's happening here. You're just seeing a lot of police walking behind earphone. When the earphone's coming through, you think it's Biden or Trump. 100 cars strong in a contingent. You think it's coming to America. We ain't that rich. Come on. We ain't that rich. You want a policeman now. Oh, we don't have a vehicle to come. We don't have a car to come. Or you might be waiting indefinitely. I'm coming. And you're waiting indefinitely. So he says a couple of policemen don't want to go there and confront the bandits. You kids? Don't want to go there and confront the criminal elements. This is why they multiply. This is why they fester. We got to confront them. So they close the stations at night. You got to confront them. And of course, the state of emergency has been extended. This is Parliament now, stepped in by a unanimous vote. And this state of emergency that's being effectuated by the police and the army in Trinidad and Tobago, they said it's aimed at disrupting gang reprisals and to bolster police efforts with military support. Right? And then you had the leader of the opposition there in Trinidad and Tobago, former Prime Minister Kamala Persad Bissessa. She said it came too late. Under her administration too, they had a state of emergency. She said it came too late. It came too late. But let's see. Prime Minister Kit Rowley has already signaled that he's stepping down in the near future. I think they've identified Minister of Natural Resources, Stuart Young, to replace Dr. Rowley. A couple of parliamentarians on his side had refused to sign a letter endorsing Stuart Young as the next Prime Minister. And they had a big meeting over the last weekend trying to iron some of that out. But Gail and Kevin, Roxy, that's some of what's happening with our neighbors over there, our Caribbean neighbors. You all know we got our own trouble. We got our own trouble. We don't blame nobody for it. We got our own trouble. So recently, Kit Nascimento turned, is it 92, 93? You know, I give him credit to be able to be 90 plus and still working. I don't want to take that away from him. May we all be so lucky. Right? Some folks at 90, there's a shell, you know. Husk and shell. You know, just waiting for the train right now. But Kit Nascimento has kept well. You know, for his age, relatively sprightly. All of his capacities are there. And he's still working. Which to me is a signal of how terrible the PP is at governance. Here's a man in his 90s, still got to be propping up their faltering administration, public relations. So Kwame didn't learn nothing? Kwame didn't learn nothing? See, that's why you got to go to school, you know. You got to go to school, do the work. You just want parachuting. You want minister, but you don't want to be qualified. You want to be minister, but you don't want to be qualified. So the man who now qualified in the art of the Goebbelian tactics, he got to step forward now and trying to maneuver with them. You know, see if you can get them a second term. And it's the duty of us on the other side of the political aisle to ensure that doesn't happen. Sorry, Kit. I ain't gonna take none of your age and your thing from you. You know, the rate at which our young people are dying to be 90 is something else. Must be something else. You know. But when I watch Kit Nascimento, no doubt a great guy and individual and all that, you know, I don't even bother. I don't even bother. You know, I get time. I get time. You know, some of you always be laughing at me. Frank Sinatra sing a song, he said, how youth is wasted on the young. I got time. I got another 50 years ahead. I got time. I got another 5 elections in me. We got time. Not a 5 in opposition though. So we got a lot of work to do. Kid got to do what kid got to do even at 92. Some of you are saying, even at 92. But that's to tell how bad things are. Kid got to keep working. Right? You don't retire at 19. So some of you said kids should be at a church volunteering. Raheem Atwell, Damian Gordon, Rohan and Lindsay, kids should be volunteering. But kudos to him. 92 and working. You know. That could probably a job gone to some young professional, not like Kwame. Young professional being the operative word here, you know. But good. You could be 92 and still earning 92 and still getting contracts with the government, that's a good place to be. Should we be all so lucky? You know? Should we all be so lucky? Should we all so lucky? He has written a letter in today's press. He said, I'm not writing on behalf of the government. I'm not writing on behalf of the government. But do not renegotiate. Right? You see, a man who don't have 50 or 60 years in front of him could say anything. A man who don't have 50 or 60 years in front of him could say anything. You know? When you're 92, you're allowed some latitudes. You know? You could spin a dime however the kind land is land. However the kind land is land. Right? But for folks who got 60 years in front of them, my kids, by God, they got a good 70 years in front of them. You got to live with all the bad decisions of Kit and the people, the masters that he serves. When you're 92, you could, it's now or never. You got to say some things now because you don't know. You know? You don't know. So you got to say everything on your chest now. Right. You just don't know. But I'm saying, but I don't want to take anything away from Kit's age and stage in his life, his health and his vitality. You know? When my grandfather died, God rest his soul, my grandmother went downhill, so. They were agile. They were agile, always moving around, always gardening, you know, planting cane, planting something, taking out weeds and so on. Always. Nobody tell them to go and do that, but they just always had it, kept themselves agile. When my grandfather died, my grandmother went down like that. But I'm thankful, even though she lost her memory, she's not those violent old people in that way. She's always smiling. And if you say hello, grandma, she can have a conversation with you. She can remember your name, your grandson, she can be very, very pleasant. Sometimes she has, you know, it's fluid, and then most of the time, life is like that. Life is like that. You see, Chris, I hit at 92, still firing for them boys. Still firing for them boys. They got me in pretty bad shape. Naomi, Sharon. He said, don't renegotiate. No. Don't want to upset Exxon. Very nice. Big money coming my way. People making money in this country. Don't negotiate. Them boys pull out, now it's trouble. Don't worry, change the circumstance. We find 2 barrels in 2016, and now we find 2 million. No, don't bother to change the circumstance and all of that. Okay? Don't make these people pull out. Let them finish pumping before they pull out. You see, when you're at a certain age, you could take certain risk. Pump, baby, pump. When you're at a certain age, you could take certain risks. You don't learn to lose. Right? Tomorrow the train comes, I gone, y'all in there. Y'all in that. None to lose. But for the rest of us, we gotta be a little more circumspect. So, in this fantastic letter by Kid Nascimento, he said demanding this renegotiation is impractical. You see, I'm not representing Irfan Ali in this instance, but I'm highlighting what he says. Sanctity of contracts. Kim Shane, sanctity of contracts. No, don't. We can't pull out just like that. Sanctity of contracts. But Sabbath News, in a fantastic editorial quite recently, raised the issue by saying, look, they signed an agreement with the PPP. When was that? It was 92? They signed an agreement with Janet Jagan. Right? They signed an agreement almost identical to the one we have now. You know, it's unfortunate the PPP, they talk half and left half. You would think the only oil contract that was ever signed was the one in 2016. They won't tell you the one in 2016 resembles the identical one, resembles or is identical to the one Blue Eye Bauji, Janet Jagan signed, century's most rebellious woman, signed in 92 or whenever. It won't tell you that. Would not tell you that. See? But don't renegotiate. Even though you campaigned, even though you promised the people, APNU sign a bad deal, we gonna make it right. Not Janet Jagan sign a bad deal. APNU sign a bad deal. We gonna make it right. No, don't sanctity of contracts. And he goes on to say how this thing would deter investors. Sabbath News made a point, and rightly so. In 2016, they asked for a renegotiation, and we went to the table in good faith. Why we can't ask, and they come to the table in similar good faith? Why not? How suddenly sanctity of contracts? It wasn't sanctity of contracts in 2016 when we added a couple of things in there. Wasn't sanctity then, but now. What? The lawyers for the PP suddenly start lawyering again? When they were campaigning to renegotiate, they forget about sanctity of contracts? Glenn Anderson, they forget all of that? But now, sanctity. What about Chris says? Kit says. But we gotta live with this. You know? Us who can be here for a little while. For a little while more. Us who can be here for a little while more. We gotta live with this. 92 minus 45 is how much? You know, we ain't good with the math. 92 minus 45 is how much? You know, we ain't good with the math. I ain't want to shame myself. Do not renegotiate. That's what Nascimento said. And then he tries to put a lash on PPH Lal. You see, always using some big words. Well, that's what the man got we want to do. You got your little words, your little word self, little sword self, little word self. The man got his words, he got to use them. GH Kishalal is a good thing. Right? It's a good writer. I seen Charlie, I seen 47. Yeah, make up your mind, man. 92 minus 45. Some of us gonna be here for a little while more. Before we get there. That's the point I'm making. Let's say it's 30. Let me bring it down to 30. Some of y'all say, I see 47, I see 30. Let me say it's a 30-year in front of me. Every 5 years election, 5-6 is 30, or 6-5 is 30. It's which one? I can never figure out. I never make up my mind. We got 6 elections in us. 6. How much elections you got in you? Some of you are ready to tap out right now. Say, done with this thing here. There's too much pressure. It's too much pressure. I done with this thing here. But GKH Lal has a letter in today's press as well. Right. And he has a different slant. He said, the PNCR, they've been engaging on this issue of oil and gas. But I don't like how they're talking renegotiation. They're talking about having dialogue with Exxon. Not full-fledged. Not frontally. We're going to have dialogue about the issue. I'm not saying this is what the PNCR has put out there. I'm saying this is GHK's Lal interpretation. And Nascimento he can't write, so I like his writing. I like his writing. Very analytical. Very analytical. Maybe Nascimento don't like him, but he could write better than he. Maybe that's the problem there. Maybe that's the problem there. All right. Maybe that's the problem you see. All right. Let me go said 92 got 0.5 election left. Mercy. 92 got 0.5 election left. 0. Let me go. How much you got left? How much you got left? Kyle Bino, how many elections you have in you? Marvin Schultz, how many elections you have in you? So G.K. Schlal's contention is that I don't like the fact we're not being frontal about it. I ain't like going around the back door. It says PNC is favoring a more conciliatory engagement strategy rather than an immediate renegotiation. And that this approach aims to explore mutual benefits without triggering an adversarial implication of an ultimatum. That's the diplomatic way to go. It says while the PNC acknowledges Exxon's upper hand, particularly under the contract prior written consent clause, it hopes to foster dialogue for improved terms. At least we talking dialogue, and at least negotiation is in there as the ultimate aim. Now, sir, but GHK Lal says ultimately it's going to be public sentiments that demands Guyana secure greater benefits for its oil wealth, regardless of what the strategy is. Regardless. So at least the PNCR, our joint opposition partners, it's in the contemplation. People don't want to talk about this. They're talking for Exxon. So Exxon don't want to negotiate. And then you hear Exxon saying, the government has said they don't want to negotiate. So each saying the other. But Sabak was in that article, in that editorial quite recently, said, why is the PP so hell-bent against renegotiation? Something is up. Something is there. That's what the Sabak News editorial said. Something are going on. It's not natural. The kind of rich stance. The rapid PPP has taken. Something is up. Lang says whatever strategy, dialogue that leads to renegotiation frontally, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. And then them boys boasting. Ministry of Natural Resources had its end of year presser. You know, it's interesting. It's interesting. And we always say the bar for the PPP, it is set too low. Could you imagine some of these ministries never had a press conference? Their press conferences with no consistency, like case in point, natural resource. You got a one-man show in this country. That must change too. A president gotta be a president, not a puppet. A president gotta be a president. You got a man taking center stage, he articulating policy. And then Irfan's role seemed to be going and telling communities what the man said, you must go and tell them. You'll get the school expanded, you can get we can bring a block project here, a block making project. Yeah, you can get it. Oh, it's backhoe you want, we can send a little tractor you got. Clear 2 canals for you, man. They said we did 225 oil lifts in 2024. 225. And that the government has earned premium on the oil sales. Good. No harm there. But the question is, now we've always asked Alfred and Kyle, Sheila Boychild, where the money going? Where the money going, Paul? Golden boy, where the money going? Where the oil money going? Where the oil money going? It's an amazing year. Everything that wasn't working, that was stuttering, that was conking out, suddenly you're seeing surge. Massive increase. Bauxite production, surge in gold production. They say gold, let's say 42,000 ounces were produced last year. 43 produced this year. I see one news outlet says massive increase in gold production, surge in gold production. And I saw a more credible news outlet, news source says gold has slightly increased, which is accurate. You can go 1 digit up from where you were, and that is a massive increase. So it's surge and this and that. And then it's the excuses why it's not better. It's not poor management, not poor policies, not poor leadership. No. They say one of the things responsible for low gold production, miners have now turned to other sectors. Gold doing so nice. It's like Isoko and the last CEO is the rain. Doing so nice, they've gone to some places. So profitable. A lot of miners have gone to other sectors. Amid the gold surge, miners gone to other sectors. So there's a surge in crude oil lifts. Where the money going? The economists will tell you, the commentators will tell you, the oil sector, we didn't put nothing in there, but plenty things are there. So that'll continue on its own, regardless of government. You'll continue to see oil explode. You'll continue to see oil surge. You continue to see that. But if you want a better look at how the PPP faring, look at the traditional sectors. Look at what they call the oil sector. Then you can see how we do it. If we're producing all this oil, if we pump in, pushing out, pushing in all this oil, how come still people are crying out so bitterly about the cost of living? Where the oil money going? So Vikram was quick to point it recently. Right? Quick to point it recently. He said, boom. Production going up, ramping up production. Ramping it up. And as I said, gold is said, production going up. According to them. They say it could be better, but because they're not hitting some of the coalition targets. It is the coalition that had the highest declaration in the history of gold production. 4 years in, they said we taxed the folks. We did this, we did that, we did 200 taxes. They can't name 5. We overtaxed the people. They removed all the tax. That is the real tragedy here. That's the real tragedy here. They said they removed all the taxes, but they ain't getting the level of production in gold that the coalition got. That's the strangeness here. And they'll be quick to tell you all the investments that they have made in the sector. They were supposed to do a mineral mapping project. I don't know where or how that is going. You hear these things on the fly and then they disappear as an initiative. We said gold coming to come, man. Bauxite rebounded. For the bauxite producing counties and towns, I hope this time around some of the largesse from bauxite actually come to the people in those places. Or it's going to be more like oil. All these lifts and lifts and lifts and erections and lifts and so on. But people aren't feeling nothing. We pumping, we pumping, we pumping, we pumping. Because thus far, if you look at the lives of the people in Linden, by the time we've had bauxite, Linden should be like little Dubai. But it just seems to be digging us out and taking everything elsewhere. Digging us out, taking things elsewhere. So gold is what it is. Gold has struggled for the last 4 years. In 2020, there was a massive declaration. 2019 as well. It has been struggling for the last 4. With all of the burdens the people will tell you and allege that they've taken off of the sector that we put on, they can't get the gold sector to stand up back. But of course, it's election year, so everything's surging and great growth and boosting and all of that. You can hear the range of adjectives. You can hear the range of it. See? Bauxite and the quarrying sector, boom! Production and jobs surge on the PPC. I want to release the census. Stop fiddling with the numbers, PPP. Stop fiddling with it. What happened to the census? The $2 billion census. They're fiddling with the numbers. Don't do it. Fiddling with the numbers. As I said, they had the at the year press conference, Financial Resources, Ministry of Natural Resources, Vikram Bharat, And some of these talking points come out. You don't believe for a moment they didn't scrape over that information. All the agencies tweak the numbers to their liking. Could you imagine? The other saying no bad information. They put out a sliver of bad information. What they say is nice and dandy so much. You said, oh, that'll take a strip on that. You know, you're headed to the target, sorry, but look how much things you do here. Right? Nice time all the way. Boom, surge, increase, massive. Suddenly. Nice time for everybody. Suddenly, remember we told about this gas explosion at Fowles on the East Coast? They're telling us that the two individuals who were part of that explosion were injured as part of that explosion, that they are recovering. This is Basmati Ganpat and Manu Suku. Basmati Ganpat and Manu Suku. They are recovering. These were residents from Fowles on the East Coast. Of course, they say that they got up one morning and smelled gas in the place and attempting to light the stove. A huge explosion shook the building to its foundation. Both individuals, husband and wife, recovering nicely. So that the burn care unit of the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, their daughter, Sandhya Gulram, noted that they had improved a lot and said that they are now faced with a financial strain, purchasing medication and maintaining their specialized diet because of all of the injuries they would have sustained. You see how life could change in an instant. Life was changed to an instant. In an instant, rather. Investigators revealed that the explosion was caused as a result of the gas buildup due to the stove knob being left on. This is according to Massey Gas and the fire chief. So always remember. I know some of you got your electric burners and so on, so you don't got to have gas, but them gas. Turn off the knobs, double check, triple check, turn off the bottle too. Folks are recovering well. That's what their daughter Sandhya Gulram says. Basmati Ganpat and Manu Suku, they are recovering well. Yeah. Continued thoughts and prayers with them. Continued thoughts and prayers. A lot of bodies. As 2025 starts, a lot of bodies. Second weekend, middle of the month. We're now officially in the third week. Officially in the third week, middle of the month, a lot of bodies all over the place. A lot of bodies. Body found floating in the Demerara River in the vicinity of the Ganapur and Light in Kingston. Body clad in blue jersey was spotted by a GPL employee around 7:15 or 7:15 hours yesterday. The police recovered and examined the badly decomposed body before transporting it to the Memorial Gardens funeral parlor for identification and a post-mortem. Investigations are ongoing. Body just floating in the Demerara River. Welcome to 2025. So what we're following. Bartica, fatal accident, carnage on roads and waterways. We got to continue to address this. Belatedly, election year, of course, we saw people making some effort, quote unquote effort. Quote unquote effort. So in 5 miles, Bartica, Sunday, they said, right? It's initially suspected to be 2 fatalities and 2 persons critically injured. Police have thus far only confirmed 1 death. Slow down, folks. Slow down. And arrive alive Slow down. This again was in the 5 miles era. 1 dead. Of course, we've been saying this is pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it. Crisis level. What happens on the roads and waterways in this country? Crisis level. And then they tell us that a fellow who was missing was found in a hotel in Puerto Rico, and he had some poison next to him. Police have indicated his family. Looks as though it's suicide. Don't think his family believes that, because they're asking for justice. He left to get a haircut on Sunday and visit a friend in Puerto Rico. He's from the East Coast. Turns up dead in a hotel in Puerto Rico. He said he went to visit a friend in Puerto Rico. A girlfriend in Puerto Rico. Turns up dead in a hotel. Yep. Family say they want justice. They don't think they believe that. Right? Police are suspecting suicide, but say that they're waiting on a post-mortem examination. That is their initial assessment. It's the family of the gentleman, Imran Haq, young man, 22 years old, Imran Haq. Right? They reported him missing, and they're asking for an impartial investigation. They said they suspect foul play, according to reports, and they're asking for an impartial investigation. Again, Imran Haq, they're at 22. They're at 22. Just told you. Folks in meeting 92. Okay. Kid, you got something on them. Folks now meeting 92. And then, penultimately, saw Ramson wading in this copyright matter. 5 years in government didn't interest him. Least bit. Didn't interest him. We get the sports policy and the culture policy. We get those things, yeah. He's wading in now to copyright issue. Wading into that, saying, it needs a careful, studied approach. An in-depth analysis before amending Guyana's copyright laws. He cited the complexities of music promotion and the country's small market. So don't let me do the right thing. Don't let us do the right thing. Let us brace on the crutches, small market, and it's a complex issue to deal with. Oh, yes, correct. Like in the industries that not doing well, the sector that's not doing well, oh, it's labor, oh, it's this, it's that. It's not bad management, not bad policies, not incompetence. Let's blame something else. He had an interview press conference recently too. And I saw him talking about a number of grounds that are under rehabilitation. This is a government clearly good at starting things but not finishing. Everything undone. Everything is to be complete in 2025. All the grounds he listed to be concluded, all of them, each and every one of them, to be concluded. That's what he said. A lot of backlash, blowback, coming from the FYI Ali's visit of the East Coast, Buxton, Melanie, Haslington, Quinn Bacchus, Home Village. Haslington, he been there yet? A lot of pushback. Electioneering. We're listening to Dr. David Hines and Dr. Henry Jeffrey quite recently. Dr. Henry Jeffrey, as you know, used to be a minister under the PPP's government, I think Minister of Health under the PPP. And we've always understood over time that the civic component of the PPP was like, it's folks like James. You're not pure blood PPP, but you want to be part of the action. Right? Sorry, you take civic. You're not a pure blood, you're not a born PPP. I think Pigeon Priya says she's a civic, she's not PPP, she's a civic. I'm told she's not PPP, she's civic. Well, we know this thing has been defunct for a long time. But Dr. Henry Jeffrey, I think it was last evening, was very, very insightful. He said the people don't like nothing bigger than them. And they've always feared that the civic component, the defunct component, could become too powerful. And have always sought to kill it. You know, I'm sorry that people are just running behind the frills. They're not taking the time to listen, to understand. The beast that they want to pledge allegiance to. I'm sorry more people are not taking time to understand. And then they went on to talk about why they're going into all of these predominantly Afro-Guyanese community. You know? Auntie Melly talked about some of it yesterday on the broadcast. Talking about the numbers, how they look in tin. The numbers, you see? The numbers. Here is Dr. David Hines and Dr. Henry Jeffrey and the issue of the civic component and why it never grew.
The PPP not only didn't want it, the PPP did everything possible to destroy it. Everything. Because we meet at times to do just that. But next thing you hear, somebody gonna tell the PPP this, up on that, up on. We meet at once all weekend, we meet at Vic Kinsonali to do just that, folks. But obviously, the PPP thought, well, if you allow them to organize, you're going to have problems. And remember, this is happening all under the Janet Jackson, and she's a old-time dictator. She come from the Communist Manifesto mold. So that's where most people from Guyana got their Marxism from. I consider myself somewhat of a Marxist, but not those that come from the Communist Manifesto of 90, but those who come from 80. No, they actually believe that Marx's thing was to save the working classes. Quite not the contrary, because working classes as part of humanity. Marxists, you really want to know what Marx wants, you gotta go read 1844.
1844 is always manuscript. That is always my favorite Marxist text.
You got to go there and read that. Lenin couldn't read it because it wasn't published in his time. So he started messing around with a utopian socialist style, Chornyshovsky.
Yeah. So they were never interested in building anything. You know, you just come and do what we tell you to do. Do what we tell you to do, but don't bother with no thinking. Right? Afraid. No, don't think for yourself. Don't fight up. We can tell you what to do, we can tell you what to think. You just come and make up numbers. Dr. Jeffrey would know, he was there in the belly of the beast. As Kemran Ramjatan would say, in the belly of the beast. You've been there. Some of y'all think, oh, they like me, I can get something here. When they're done with you, you know yourself. When they're done with you, you can't catch yourself for generations. You're never interested in building any movement. You see? It's all about the numbers. Always about the numbers. Folks, we're going to leave it there. Today, thank you very much. Thank you for joining our broadcast. Them boys ain't building nothing. Annette Cummins, Kevin Passat, Jennifer Albert, Naomi Drucker. Aubrey Stevens, Faye, Naomi, Annette Gordon. Good to have all of you on the live this morning. A couple issues. Naomi, you count them? Folks, let's leave it here. We're going to catch you guys on the upside, on the other side of today for our next broadcast. Thanks for joining us, Tyrell and Roxanne, Marilyn, Waveney, Siobhan, Osman, Leon, Leonard, Jolly. Good to have had all of you. Close to 1,300 of you on the live, even as we speak. Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic day. We're going to see you guys later on. That's our time, folks. That's our program. Stay safe. Stay safe.